The Talksport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the Talksport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search Talksport Fan Network.
Hello, my name is Seán from the Brentford Hive. Thank you for having me on today. We're going to be talking about Brentford versus Bournemouth, of course. This is hopefully going to be another great game like it was earlier in the season. Obviously, earlier in the season, the G-Tech 3-2 end-to-end game. You know, lots of fun and a really entertaining game from neutrals as well. Hopefully, it's going to be another edition of that today. I think it's going to be a great game. I think, obviously, both teams are getting players back from injuries. You guys have got Zabani back. We've got Vandenberg back. Hopefully, Vandenberg will be involved in the match. He has trained all week, so we're not entirely sure if he's going to start the game or if he's going to come on as a substitute. But what he's shown this season in centre-back, the partnership that he's built up with Nathan Collins has been really good. So if he is available to start, hopefully he will be starting because it will give us a little bit more defensive solidity. So heading into this match, I think from a Brentford point of view, it's not been the best. You know, the last couple of games, we got to a position where we were close to almost challenging for Europe, and then we had the last two games against Everton and Aston Villa, both at home, and it was a case of if you can win both those matches, or at least win one of them, and then draw the other one, then you're that step closer to that European contention. But of course, we only got 1 point from the two matches, so I feel like we're probably out of that European race now. And even so, you know, a lot of Brentford fans speak about it, we're not quite ready for that European push yet. You know, the squad isn't necessarily in the best place depth-wise. If we get a couple of key injuries, suddenly you're looking really poor. And then obviously you add into that the extra load of European matches, it probably wouldn't work too well and you'd end up sitting a lot lower in the table than you'd like to. So maybe it's just a couple of years too early, and hopefully we'll add in a few more players to the squad and then push for that in a couple of seasons' time. But heading into this game, obviously, you know, win this in our last two games. But away from home, it's kind of the opposite story. We've won our last 3 away games in a row. We're in really good form away from home in 2025. We haven't lost a game away from home. And all 5 of our clean sheets this season have come on the road. So away from home, we're looking a lot better. And obviously, Bournemouth, you know, last few games, not been the best results. You lost to Wolves a couple of weeks ago. Then obviously last week you drew to Spurs. So I feel like it's the type of game where Bournemouth probably need to win it to stay in that race for, you know, maybe the top 5, because obviously top 5 teams get Champions League this season. I'm sure in the back of Bournemouth's mind it is definitely, can you get that little bit extra to just get into that top 5. Either way, I'm sure all you guys would take Europe, of course, in whatever form it comes, but I'm sure in the back of your minds you are thinking about, can you get into that top 5. And this game against Brentford's probably a really crucial game, because if you don't win it, then it becomes, you know, you're letting all of your opponents get that little bit extra, those extra 3 points, those extra point ahead of you. So this is going to be a really important game for both clubs. From Brentford, it's more a case of, you know, just how high can you finish? Can you maybe get in a late push for that Europe? Is it a bit too far? Probably it is. But for Bournemouth, obviously, it's also a very important game. So hopefully it will be another great game. I'm predicting, I think Brentford will win 3-2 again. I think it's going to be another high-scoring match. You know, you guys have got Evan Nilsson back. Wissa he scored 5 goals in his last 3 games, but 3 of them have been offside. But he knows where the back of the net is, so he's in good form. Evan Nilsson's getting back into fitness in good form. Obviously, Cliver and Damsgaard are both in good form, and then you've got Brian and Buemo. So it's going to be a great game. I'm sure there's going to be lots of goals. Hopefully, Brentford win. But best luck for the rest of the season to Bournemouth fans. Hopefully, you guys get into Europe. At this point, it kind of seems like you're surely going to get into Europe, but of course nothing's ever certain. But hopefully you guys do. Best luck for the season, and thank you for having me on. Till next time, bye now.
Talksport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the Talksport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search Talksport Fan Network.